Welcome back, everyone. Last time we left Joseph in prison. Today we continue from the moment everything begins to change. Before a student graduates, there's an examination. Before a doctorate student stands before a panel to defend years of research, there has already been seasons of preparation, testing, and proving in private. The defense is public, but the preparation is hidden, and Joseph had been in his own kind of examination. His character had been tested, his faithfulness had been tested, his ability to serve while waiting had been tested, and now the moment had come for everything he had learned in private to become visible. And in Genesis 41 verse 1, and it came to pass at the end of 2 years that Pharaoh dreamt. 2 full years had passed since Joseph interpreted the dreams of the butler and the baker. The butler had forgotten him, but God had not. Pharaoh had a dream. His magicians and wise men could not interpret the dream. And then suddenly, the butler remembers in Genesis 41 verse 9. I do remember my faults this day. The man who had forgotten Joseph remembered him exactly at the moment Joseph was needed. Joseph did not need to chase the butler. He did not force himself into Pharaoh's presence. He created a situation that made Joseph's name necessary. And sometimes that's how God works. You may think people have forgotten you, but God can arrange circumstances that cause that very people you need to remember you at the appointed time. In Genesis 41:14, it says that Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him out of the dungeon. Look at the speed. They hastily brought him out of the dungeon. Look at the speed. Joseph goes from the dungeon to Pharaoh's presence. But don't miss the deeper truth. It looked sudden. It wasn't. God had been preparing him for such a time as this for years. The palace was visible. The preparation was not. Pharaoh tells Joseph his dreams, and Joseph has an opportunity to finally show Egypt what he can do. But listen to his response in Genesis 41:16. It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh the answer of peace. Joseph does not take the glory. He does not say, finally, you have discovered my gift. He points Pharaoh to God. And that is one of the things God had been working into Joseph's life. Because restoration is not simply about changing your position. God must prepare your heart for the position He's giving you. A gift can take you before kings, but character and humility must keep you there. Joseph interprets the dreams. 7 years of abundance are coming. Then 7 years of famine. But Joseph doesn't merely interpret the dream. He gives Pharaoh a strategy. Store during the years of plenty. Prepare for the years of famine. And Pharaoh recognized something different about him. In Genesis 41:38, can we find such a one as this in a man whom the Spirit of God is? The same Joseph who was once a slave is now being recognized by Pharaoh. The same Joseph who was falsely accused is now being trusted. The same Joseph who was forgotten is now being sought after. And then came the moment of manifestation. In Genesis 41:41, and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. There it is. The prison door had opened. The palace had opened. Joseph had moved from the dungeon to the highest position in Egypt under Pharaoh just overnight. Just like that. But here's what you will notice. The palace was not where Joseph's restoration began. It was where the restoration became visible. God had already been working. He preserved Joseph in the pit. He was with him in Potiphar's house. He gave him favor in prison. He brought the butler and baker into his path. He allowed Joseph's gift to be exercised. He allowed Joseph to be tested. And he waited until the exact moment when Joseph's gift was needed. If Joseph had been released 2 years earlier, he might simply have walked out of prison. But God was not merely trying to get Joseph out of prison. He was positioning him for the palace. And sometimes we pray, God, get me out of this place. But God says, I am not only bringing you out, I am positioning you. There's a difference. What looks like delay may actually be divine alignment. Let me share one of my illustrations. There is a species of bamboo called the muzo bamboo. When it is planted, it can spend roughly 3 to 5 years showing little or no visible growth above the ground. If you looked at it every day, you might conclude that nothing was happening here. But beneath the surface, its roots are spreading. Its underground stems are developing. Its foundation is becoming established. Then when the hidden foundation is ready, shoots emerge. And once those shoots break through the ground, they can grow incredibly fast, reaching around 50 to 80 feet within roughly 6 to 8 weeks under suitable condition. To the person watching, it looks sudden, but it wasn't sudden. The visible growth was only the manifestation of years of invisible preparation. That was Joseph. Egypt saw the palace. God saw the pit. Egypt saw the prime minister. God saw him in prison. Egypt saw the sudden elevation. God saw every hidden step that came before it. And maybe you are in a season like this right now. You are praying, you are serving, you are trying to remain faithful, but you keep asking, when will something finally change? Don't mistake what you cannot see for what God is not doing. Joseph's story reminds us, being hidden does not mean being forgotten. Being delayed does not mean being denied. And being in prison does not mean God has abandoned you. There was a day Joseph could not see the palace, but the palace was already in God's plan. There was a day he could not understand the prison, but God knew exactly what the prison was producing. So keep your integrity, keep your faith, keep serving, keep your gift alive. And above all, keep God first. Because sometimes restoration does not begin when you arrive at the palace. Sometimes the palace is simply where everyone finally sees what God has been doing in secret. And when your appointed time comes, people may call it sudden, but you will know God was working all along. Joseph's restoration was never just about Joseph. The palace was not merely a reward for his suffering. It was a position of purpose. God restored him so that through him, lives will be preserved. Sometimes the restoration you are praying for is bigger than you. God may be preparing to restore you into a place where your life becomes an answer to somebody else's prayer. And when God lifts you to that position, do not forget that it's for a purpose. God is always working towards a purpose. Your present location is not your final destination, and your story is not over. God is still writing your story. Thank you for joining me in this Joseph series. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you picked a lesson. Are you going through a time of waiting? God is in it. God is in your story. As long as you're faithful, enhancing your gift, holding on to God, He's working it out. Trust Him. All things will work out. All things will align, and you would also get to your own palace. Finally, when you get there, do not forget, the purpose is heaven. The purpose is God's kingdom. The purpose is for Jesus. Thank you. Bye-bye.